positive energy that went with that. People are open enough to express to me their disagreements, their disappointments, their hopes, their dreams. It is left now to me to put all of that into perspective, prioritize it, and let's move on in building the lives of the people.
So, do you think that the constituents of Mahaut will vote for you as an individual, or they will be voting for the UWP party?
Both. Obviously, parties have their basis. All right, we have to appreciate that parties have their basis. But most importantly, in my case, I hope people can understand what my candidacy is about. My candidacy is about the engagement of people, making sure that this constituency, regardless of which party forms the government, is properly represented. As I said before, this constituency is diverse. Every major sector in the country is represented in the constituency. We need to have a power rep who respects that, honors that, and is willing to engage that in the development of the constituency and obviously the development of the country.
Dominica is said to be a nation of two show, two flag. We like to run after the new thing. In that regard, how do you think your chances would be for this post, seeing that you are a newcomer in that constituency?
All right. Well, Ronald Isidore's involvement in the politics is not really a two-show, two-flam issue, you know. For those who do not know, obviously, I'm a newcomer. I've always been interested in the politics in the country. I've always lent my voice to issues, even if it's behind the scenes. I have a lot of respect from the people of the constituency on all sides of the political spectrum. For example, people who don't know that I would write advisory documents for Ruzi. I mean, I did that while I was here. While Brian Allen was the PAL rep, you know, I spoke to him about the needs of the community. Julian Privo, no problem. All right, so it is not true that I have not paid attention to the politics. I've entered the arena to lend my service to the leadership of the country, and hopefully we'll be successful there.
What are your views on young, inexperienced men and women giving up themselves for election or political office? Not to say that you are inexperienced.
No, I understand the question perfectly. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I hope we can introduce into Dominica is the political formation of the young people. All right, that is critically important in the development of the country. I'm hoping, and I've always advocated that. Since my return to Dominica in 2000, I've been advocating that at the end of the elections, it is important to get the new parliamentarians into some quote-unquote orientation process so they can understand what is the role of the power rep. Alright, principally, a power rep has two main functions. Alright, he's responsible for being able to craft certain kinds of laws in the country, and he's also responsible for the formation of a certain kind of government. Whether you are in the government and on the winning side or in the opposition, as a power rep, you are still responsible for the formation of a certain kind of government, for your advocacy, for your oversight responsibility. So I'm all for young people entering the political process, but more critically, I'm all for the formation of the mass of young people. I think the school curriculum is going to be very critical in helping to form young minds politically.
Minister Roosevelt's spirit took up the throne upon the death of Ruzi Douglas.
Right.
At the time he was said to be a young man.
Right.
Leader of the UWP, Honorable Ron Green, if he is unable to become Prime Minister, do you think you could be capable of holding that position?
Yeah, Ronald Isidore is more than able at this present point in time to assume the reins of the prime ministership of the country. I think what we need to focus on in terms of the prime ministership of the country is making sure that the person who assumes this position has and draws from the experiences of the past, has a vision for the country, for the future, and willing to help Dominicans understand that it is we, the people of the country, both here and abroad, who is responsible for growing this country. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay then. So tell me, if elected, how will you go along with the community in combating some of the social problems that plague this community? For instance, drug abuse, violence, and maybe even STDs.
Yeah. If you listen to me speak, right? When I speak, that's a component of my platform that I always stress upon. It is important. First of all, we have a rising AIDS situation in the country, and it is rising among the youth. I think for those of us in political office, we have to use that platform to advocate for the social skills that the young people need, that the people of the country need. We do not need our young people going into functions, carrying weapons, for example. We do not need our young people solving the problems aggressively, for example. We need to be careful about advocating for family life in the country. Alright, that is critical. We have to understand that the family forms the basis of the society, and we have to advocate for those values. Alright, we need to engage non-governmental organizations. We need to engage the churches. Alright, we need to engage institutions like the Cadet Corps, the Scouts, the Girl Guides. Alright, we need to do that. We need to engender volunteerism in the young persons in particular. You will hear me focusing on the young persons because they are the ones who has to come up and lead this country. And one of the concerns that I have socially is that our young persons and our children are getting out of the respect that they have for the older folks. Alright, I think as a politician, as somebody who has the ears of the country, we need to be advocating for those things.
There's an air around the political, at least ruling political party, in terms of corruption. Do you think any corruption tactics are being used in this political season, run up for election, as compared to the last election? Do you think that actually they are really using corruption as political tactics in?
Alright, well, what I've heard from the Labour Party is that the corruption allegations of 2000 was a political strategy. They've said it, they have admitted it. In this election cycle, the corruption is real. Okay, it is very real. It is not only real with respect to the Prime Minister, it is very real with respect to the Cabinet of Ministers. This country is being run in secret. This country is being run with deals under the table. This country, I mean, look at what we're discussing in the country today. And the Cabinet of Ministers and the Prime Minister has to take responsibility for the political discourse in the country today. I mean, you know, we've gone from a situation of promise, energy, willing to serve, to a situation of lies, scandals, backstabbing, and trying to buy people's votes. And it seems to me that this government is advocating that poverty is something for us to grasp at, for something that we need to aspire to. And they're advocating that money is what decides for us what is right and what is wrong. And I have news for us, you know, in Dominica. Right? The correspondency seems to point to the fact that the Prime Minister does have an interest in the Savannah Pie and the Portsmouth villas. If that is the case, there is absolutely